That's right, that's Manadium and Marincess top 8ing another regional. Before we dig into all the data here, we have our field centers up right now. As of filming this, there's about 15 of them left, so I'll leave a link down below so you can grab yours today. I'll make 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. This regional breaks the mold for norm at this stage that we're really used to seeing here. Out of this regional, I kid you not, we had a lot of branded. Oh my gosh, man. Like, branded actually took the lead here, which I would say is actually kind of cool. It really did take the first 2 weeks of the format for this deck to kind of get its groove on here and actually kind of figure out, you know, hey, what do we need to do for options here in order to kind of keep up with the format? And it looks like that players are kind of starting to get it down, at least in some other regions. Now, we also had one evil little Kashtira deck in Top Cut. I'm not surprised about that. I mean, it is the best deck in the room. It starts to get really weird when you don't see any Kashtira in Top Cuts, but it dominates in other regions. We also had Super Heavy, but Super Heavy ended up winning this event, which actually is kind of interesting in and in itself. So I'll take that. We also had one Sprite deck making its way into Top Cut, and it's the Evil Twin variant, actually. We haven't seen a lot of that actually kind of turning over, but I will say Sprite Adventure has been leading the charge here, but to see that we kind of rewound things here and then we're seeing this, you know, kind of pop back up is nice. Now, we had Marincess out here. The really cool boss monster towers that if your opponent's not prepared for, you actually kind of get caught with your pants down. And I think that was interesting to see. And then we had, yes, Manadium out here as well. Huh. So Scareclaw, Reverse Engineer, you know, do full TK shenanigans. Am I surprised about this Top Cut? It looks very, very diverse, and that's actually really cool. Let's pass on over to top deck list. Winning our event here was none other than Super Heavy Samurai. This is new. This is cool. I mean, coming off of like events that we just saw anti-spell fragrances down here in the side deck, I mean, why not just take this one step further? I mean, just turn all of your big monsters, your big, you know, ooh scary 8,000 attack board into literal vanillas. Yeah, I don't think your opponent's beating that. This is actually kind of interesting, and I like this. But like I said, we've seen this and Anti-Spell being some pretty big contenders here. This build also went to play triple Fenrir instead of, you know, usually the two that we see at this stage, which kind of indicates to me that players are testing out some different variations of things. We'll have to wait and see. I think that this is going to stick around at least as a 2-of across the board, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Also happy to see the DD Crow's getting a little bit of love down here. We haven't seen a lot of Crow at this stage, but it looks like it's kind of returning back. Next up here we have Kashtira. Cash money dollar bills locking down second. Am I surprised now? So we are on triple shifter and only 2 draw and Lockbird here. So we still are going to be doing standard paralyzation shenanigans to set up and, you know, do what our deck needs to do, which is attempt to play the game, which usually works out relatively well for us here. And then, of course, big, bad, little mean Gamma. And then we're just playing 1 Talents and 1 Thrust. Okay. And we are playing the Pot of Prosperities for filtering options. And we are playing Goliath. I am happy to see that somebody down here is still worried about Nightmare Corrupt Ridley shenanigans. I think this is the first duelist I've seen in the last week that still worries about Nightmare Corrupt Ridley. They actually opted not to play Nightmare Corrupt Ridley in this build, which is fine, but they were prepared via the out. If not, this is just a Pot of Prosperity target, which I think works out just fine. Like, this deck, it cares, but it doesn't really care all that much. Next up here is, Hi, Marincess. The cost of playing this deck, just take a moment to like look at everything that's going on here. You have to play cards that are going to, you know, let you play the game. So yes, you're going to have to stop Droll and Lock. But Droll is literally, since Droll is everywhere, I mean, everywhere right now, it's kind of strange to, you know, see a deck not play this. It needs to be able to play the game. Marin says if it gets drolled, it just picks up its cards and it walks away, so I perfectly understand this. This build is a lot more hand-trapped than I kind of expected. I mean, we're even so far in here as to playing kaijus as well, especially for, like, the water luck here. See, of course, Silent Mining is a 3, 1 Battle Ocean is good, and then 2 copies of Dive. All these are very, very used to seeing. I see that we are also playing Talents in here as well. No Thrust, perfectly understandable, I suppose. We are setting DD Crow down here, and then we have some option trees here to clean up the big little mean cat that looks like it might be an issue. Outside of that, this deck is going to be relying on, obviously, all the hand traps that you're seeing here, and just to be able to play the game. It's kind of a weird place to see in the format, but that's what you have to deal with here. Next up here, we have our first branded Despia pile, coming in at 45 cards. I swear, all these decks, they can never get them down there. Like, man, we just have so many cards that we kind of have to jam-pack into this pile to actually make this work out. See, we're also playing a Chaos Angel here. That's the first time I've seen this actually show up in a deck like this. I mean, if this resolves, you're typically not going to see this, but I suppose, you know, some different option trees might actually make that possible. Lulu Wall for the dumping. We are not playing the Nadir Servant. Like I said in previous videos, a lot of people were very hyped up for Nadir Servant for the early stages of this deck, but didn't rely on it. We are playing Double Mercury. We're not playing the Gold Sarkov. I guess I know the Gold Sark was really, really saucy when it actually did show up, but that's kind of what you're looking at right now in terms of, you know, build. 42 or 45? It's doable. Next up here, we have our Evil Twin Sprite list. Okay, so we are playing 2 Lilla with 1 copy of the Big Frost. And then we have triple Lilla, and we're just not even playing the sub Lilla. Okay, that's fine. We're playing a Relinquished Anima in here as well. Huh. Okay, I guess. Interesting. Looking at this main deck, though, standard hand trap ratio, very, 12 of them is fine. You need the ability to counteract the meta. We are playing Turtles and Nibiru's to counteract things. Is the only reason why we're actually doing this, it's just for the draw, right? Like, it's just to turn the draw into this to suck up something on spot removal. That's like the only option or the only thing in here to actually do with that. And I think that that's hilarious that they're actually... I mean, alright, if it comes up enough, it comes up enough. Next up here is our Mana Dome list, or our Mana Diem. Okay, so, there's my mini Scareclaw package. Obviously doing this. We are not playing a Hero Lives. Okay, wow. Well, I mean, I guess to be fair, like, with Ash Blossom and Joy Spring and the rest of the hand trap army kind of running around this format, I don't know if you want to risk it on a Hero Lives just to get ashed. Like, that doesn't exactly seem like something that you really want to afford. So, I guess that's understandable. I see we are playing a Scareclaw Cashier in here as well. Like, our package is like Rictophobia with a rival, so we can actually do things. I mean, we're also playing Scareclaw Tryhard. A lot of decks cannot out this right now. If you actually get this established in the game, you will be in an amazing position. Your Synchro board feels kind of standard. We are doing Vicious Stroud here, which is fine. Looking at this, though, I don't have any complaints about this. This feels very standard. I mean, the whole point is like the Scareclaw package is just additional extendy chicken nuggies for this deck as you're kind of stepping through, you know, the rest of how you want the deck to be able to play out. So it looks like, for the most part, everything is kind of set up for what you want to see. So good stuff. All right. I am very happy to see this deck doing well. And our last list here is another branded list. Finally! Somebody that's not playing an absurdly large amount of cards. They got this down to 40 in the main deck. Very nice. We are playing Expulsion for, you know, Gimmick Puppet in the main. We're actually playing Double Mercury. Seeing there's a lot more of this come up, by the way. Let's see here. Triple Dark Kaiju. Yeah, I guess this deck does kind of need access to clean up problems. Especially, like, if your opponent sets up something that just allows this deck not to play the game, I mean, like a Spell Canceller, for example, is just the death of this deck. You have a lot of things that you kind of have to consider while playing this. So, looking at this, I like the ratios. I like what we're seeing. Okay. That's our breakdown here out of the Alaska Regional. What do you guys think about everything here? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later and do some more cool house content. Peace out, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.